It is 6 p.m. and I would like to call the 2025 Annual Reorganizational Meeting to order. Would you all please join me in the pledge to the flag? At this time, I'm going to do the oath of office and welcome our new board member, Mr. Jerry Stevens. Raise your right hand and read your oath of office.
I, Jerry Stevens, do solemnly pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of board member according to the best of my ability.
I will now read my oath of office. I, Aaron Long, do solemnly pledge to declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the superintendent according to the best of my ability. I would now like to open the floor for nominations for the president of the Board of Education.
To nominate, if I may, Keith Stryker. He's led this board for a number of years, and I think we're going in the right direction. And I applaud him for doing the work and being as engaged as he is.
Any other nominations? Please vote by hand. That is unanimous. Be it resolved that the Board of Education here nominates and elects Keith Stryker to the position of Board of Education President for the 2025-2026 school year. I will now administer the oath of office to Keith Stryker.
I, Keith Stryker, do solemnly pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President Board Member according to the best of my ability. Okay, we are going to move to item 3C, which would be the election of the board vice president for 2025-2026. And do I have a nomination for a vice president?
I'd like to nominate George Dean.
Okay. Okay, George, are you?
I accept.
Okay. Kerry? Okay. So we'll hold 2 votes. Is anybody else nominee? Okay, we'll close the nominations and we will do a motion for George Dean for vice president. All in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5. Okay. 5, right? Okay. And can I have a motion to, or a vote to elect Kerry Poley as vice president for 2025 to 2026? Please raise your hands. All in favor? That's two. Right, two? Three? Oh, okay. Congratulations, Georgine.
I appreciate it. I hope we don't let you down.
Okay, so hold on one second. You have your paper, right? Please rise and read your oath of office.
I, George A. Dean, do solemnly pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President of the Tri-Valley School Board according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you. Okay, we will now go to item 3D, is the appointment of the district clerk. It is an action. Can I have a motion for the appointment of the district clerk?
Motion.
And, well, let me just say, we're going to offer nominations for the district clerk first. So,
I nominate Samantha Dams.
okay, is there any other nominations? Okay, so we'll close the nominations, and Samantha Dams is the person who's nominated for the appointment of the district clerk. It is an action. Please raise your hands if you're in favor of Samantha Dams as the district clerk. That is unanimous. Okay, do you have a sheet? Please stand up. Okay, the next item is going to be item 3F is the oaths of office for the board members. We will do it as a group. And please, all board members rise except for Jerry, you already gave yours. So all board members rise with your, and say it all at once, okay? I, Keith Stryker.
Rose Woods,
Tammy
do
Bodie,
solemnly pledge and declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will
and that I will
faithfully
faithfully
discharge the duties of the office of Tri-Valley School Board member according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Moving to item 3G is the readoption of board policies for the 2025 to 2026 school year. It is an action, and I have a motion to adopt the board policies for the 2025-2026 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Rose,
Second.
second by Nicole. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. So within the board policies, we have not included anything related to the cell phone usage for the upcoming school year, correct? That's something that's going to be added on at a future meeting.
Correct. We are currently working on that. We're wordsmithing it, and we hope to have it on the July 24th or forward to the board for the first read. Yes.
Thank you.
I think August 1st is the,
August 1st is the deadline. I sent the policy a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago. We've got it wordsmith. We'll share it with you early, and if everybody's comfortable with it, we can just first read and adopt. But if you want to wait and go through the 2 reads and adopt, we can do that in August.
anybody else with a comment, question? Okay. Please proceed to vote. Jerry and George are hand votes, right? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby readopts the board policies for the 2025 to 2026 school year. Moving to item number 4 is the superintendent's report by Ms. Erin Long.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Rose Comfort, I want to share a letter that she recently sent us. It says, "Dear Tri-Valley Board of Education, thank you so very much for the retirement card and planter. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the Tri-Valley family. I still love what I do, so retirement is bittersweet, but it's time for the next chapter. Love, Rose Comfort." As we begin our summer work, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the past couple of weeks and share some words of appreciation to the many people who helped us close out the 24-25 school year on such a positive note. Graduation was a true highlight and would not have been possible without the help and organization of so many people. And as I had mentioned in my graduation speech, it was a persistent effort that ensured that all of our seniors walked across the stage this year, something to be very proud of. It was a beautiful ceremony, and it reflected the spirit of Tri-Valley and our shared commitment to our students' success. As we transition into our summertime, I also want to recognize the outstanding efforts of both our custodial and maintenance teams. We have 17 students working with us this summer. They are out there at 6 a.m. in the morning working on the grounds, cleaning up the grounds, preparing the grounds, while our custodial staff are buzzing through the buildings. They've got classrooms emptied. They're waxing floors, just hoping the humidity will help the floors dry a little bit. It's been pretty sticky, but they're doing a wonderful job. And they are the quiet heroes that get things ready for us. There's just a short turnaround before we bring our kids back. Our administrative team is also digging deep this summer into a few focuses. Right now, we are going through and aligning all of our handbooks and all of our board policies, and then cleaning up our website to make sure everything is aligned, everything is up to date, so that we have consistency and clarity for our staff and our students and our families. We are finalizing the rollout of our new cell phone policy, including our communication, our expectations, and our implementation for this fall. We are also working on launching professional learning communities, which is going to be an opportunity for us just to deepen our collaboration with each other and align our instructional practices and focus on our student learning, which is most important. We have received 5 foils since the last board meeting. The first one was on June 12th from Abbas Khan from Civic IQ for purchase records from 1/1/22 to present, including vendor numbers, POs, purchase dates, line items, details, quantity, and the line item price. We received a foil on June 7th from Adam Rose from the graduating class of Cornell for the candidate sheet in the first page of each nominating position filed on May 20th for the Board of Education election, including email addresses or phone numbers provided by the candidate. We received a foil on 6/12 from Jeffrey Lee from the Smart Procure Company for purchase order numbers, invoices, encumbrances or check numbers, purchase date, line item details, detailed descriptions of the purchase, line item quantity, line item price, vendor ID, and name. We received a foil on June 12th from Janet Diamond for the year-to-date earnings of the 24-25 school year for Richard Biebenroth, Kim Decker, Martha Turbush. We received a foil on June 12th from Janet Diamond for purchase request reports and detailed activity reports for the 24-25 school year for all budget codes relating to conferences, meetings, professional development attended by any staff member, all credit card statements and associated purchase orders for the 24-25 school year. We will continue to process these in accordance with our timelines and requirements. And lastly, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Jerry Stevens, who joins us as our newest member of the board. Jerry, we're glad to have you on our team and look forward to your expertise and insight you bring to the table. Thank you.
If I may, in some of those foils we had, it's asking for the board members' names and addresses. How much do you have to give out legally?
If you don't,
Just what we submitted when we...
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, just what was on that sheet. Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving to item number 5 is items the board would like pulled from the agenda. Anything?
Yeah. Number 7. Consent agenda number 7. There's just a couple of things there I'd like to ask about.
All right, we'll have to pull it off. So you were looking at item 7? Number 7?
Consent agenda number 7.
Annual
Yeah, it's all
appointments, reappointments?
because some of them are so blank.
Okay,
Let's
so
just see what the
7.
timeline is. And warrant 31, page 6, 7, 9, 11, 19. Warrant number 32, page number 9.
All right, wait a minute. Warrant
And-
number 31. What's the page?
Number 6, number 7, number 9, 11, and 12, or 11 and 19.
Okay, what's the next?
And number 32, page 19. And number 33, page number 3.
So it's warrant, it's 9B, C, and D.
Warrant number 31, 32, and 33.
Okay, anything else? Okay. Moving to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the entire consent agenda with the exception of item 7 and item 9B, 9C, and 9D?
Motion.
Motion by Rose. Second by Tammy. Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
Anybody getting a? Okay, we'll do a hand vote. Okay, all in favor? It's unanimous.
So I would like to take a moment to introduce Christina Smith. Christina is a Tri-Valley graduate. She did her internship with us this fall as a counselor and then stayed on with us as an aide, and she's stepping back in as a counselor with us next year. She will be running our social and emotional program at the elementary school using a program called Second Step. So we are absolutely delighted to have her stay with us and can't wait to see all the good stuff you do. So congratulations and welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the entire consent agenda, categories 6 through 12, with the exception of item 7, item 9B, 9C, and 9D. We'll take item 7 first.
Yeah, number 7, I just have the questions. I see a lot of them is to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
By law, when do we have to have that in place?
So by law, as soon as we get them,
Hold on a second. We have to do a motion to open that up, this for discussion, okay? So item
I don't
number
mind.
7. Can I have a motion to accept the annual appointments / reappointments for the 2025-2026 school year? Motion? Motion by Pat,
Second.
second by Nicole. Now you can comment.
I see a lot of them are vacant. And by law, do we have a certain timeline?
as soon as we possibly can. So we're making some shifts in some of our business office positions. And so we will be actively searching for some replacements in some of our departments.
I know, I thought I had heard during the course of a couple of years, we were looking at some different things on some of the affiliations we have with some of the companies and corporations.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to know how that's progressing, but also I see that financial institution
Mhm.
is a secondary ones we can use now. What was the change?
So we're still in the middle of transitioning between Wayne Bank and the Hudson Valley Credit Union. So that's why we have to appoint them as a secondary, because we still have accounts with them.
They do have a waiver. They have the waiver that they need for us to be able to continue to do business with them.
I'm sorry, we did not talk about a second bank before, other than possibly the secondary one that may be illegal for us to use.
It's not illegal anymore. They received the waiver so that we can do business with them, but we have student accounts that are in there, and it's much more convenient for deposits and things because our, that transfer happens very often here instead of sending somebody to Liberty. So we have some accounts still. Our big ones, all of our reserves, all of our general fund money is in Wayne Bank. Our tax collection will be at Wayne Bank.
So if we have any litigation going on, we can use the one that we have presently before we appoint another one? And also the same goes for an architect?
Oh, attorney.
Yeah.
So our primary attorney is still WOH. Our specialty attorney is Ferrara and Fiorenza. We use them a lot for some of our trainings. We use them for a lot of special education law. They are the experts in that. And they do a little bit of work with us when we've brought them in to do some professional development with our entire staff. As far as an architect goes, Rich has been involved in that request, that RFP process with insurance companies, and now moving into looking at some architects to come. So that's just a long process for us. But we are actively searching for one. We've settled with SWBR. We're no longer using them. So we're actively looking for one. We have 4 or 5 architects we hope to have on campus in the next few weeks to take a look at our campus.
So our claim doesn't legally disappear then, if we don't appoint them?
Our claim is with the SWBR for the ceiling. We're all settled.
Okay,
We're
thank
all
you.
settled. We've signed off. Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand, and we're voting on item number 7, annual appointments, reappointments for the 2025-2026 school year. All in favor? That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the annual appointments and reappointments as listed in and attached to the public portion of the agenda. Now, the next one is going to be item 9B, which is warrant number 31. And the pages are, that you're questioning, are 6, 7, and 9, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12.
Oh, a reference to 6. I brought this up before. Anything that I approach this stuff just like I would my own business. If I see things that looks like a duplicate, especially electric bill, I'm just wondering what the situation. I brought it up at last meeting. As you can see, elementary school has one bill, and you go to another page, and they have another bill, and it's different prices. So, do we pay quarterly? Do we pay monthly? Why do we have? And it's not just the elementary school, it's the high school. It's middle school, high school.
So one is the supply side and one is the delivery side. And we have, it's on. I do have it on. But one is the supply side and one is the delivery side on that bill. I can get copies to show you.
Oh, I just thought that the encumbrance sort of addresses the numbers as you go down through. So that's the only reason why. So please, I'm still learning you're doing this. Okay. The next one would be on page 9. Invoice, 2 of them. Top 2. Seems to be a duplicate, but different payment numbers. but seems to be the same individual and the same amount of people. It just raises a question. I mean, everything might be legit. I'm just, wondering, that's all. See what I'm talking about?
So this will be voided. This was inadvertently approved. It was from the senior trip, and so it's since been rectified, and it has to come out of the senior account. This was food that the kids bought when they were on their senior trip.
So being on the agenda, how do we address that if it's on here and we approve everything?
You'll see that a correction in the next warrant.
Okay, another one was on the next page. Mine's whited out. I don't know what page it is. Anyways, Anderman oil it tells at a gallon for a diesel.
Page 11 and 12 was the other two pages.
Yeah, it would be 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And one is $1 something, the other one's $3 and something. And this is I just wondering why I brought that up the last meeting,
So we lock into
the contract.
the contract, and so we can't control the price of diesel. So we have to pay if it increases, we have to pay it. If it decreases, we get that rate.
Yeah, but one's $3.40, the other one's $1.70 something
Mm-hmm.
for the same fuel. All right, page 11. Or 19. I'm sorry, no, hold on.
12,
I
page
just-
12 was the next one.
Yeah. On the bottom of 11, we have an invoice for a bus permit. What is that? We pay $60 for a bus permit. Is that something of our contract that?
So what happens on some of our field trips when we go out of state? There are tolls that they incur, and that was a field trip where I think our 8th graders went to New York City, and they got rerouted. They had some issues with the bus. They had to go across a different area because they couldn't go out of the state because the buses weren't licensed to travel out of state. So there was a toll attached to that trip.
Next one's the cleaning hoods. How many hoods do we have in the school? Hood cleaning.
What's that?
How many hoods do we have in school? Hood cleaning from Steinard.
Can you tell me where you are?
Page 19.
Page 19.
It's just the same numbers on both invoices. That's what raises my concern. I thought if it's a separate bill, it would be a different invoice number.
So that check was voided.
Yeah, but not on that page.
Yes, if you look at the first line, it says 1,500, and then right below it, it says it was voided.
See
Well,
that-
whatever's not on my page. So I'm sorry, but
So
that
the
makes
first one's
two
voided.
then.
Yeah, the top one is voided for 1,500. And the bottom one is 1,150.
Okay, there was another one of those. I got page 9. I missed that one. It's a cancellation to New Paltz, Sunny New Paltz. Do we pay for cancellation of something? Is that a bus trip? The very bottom of page 19 or 9. That's with Chapel Field and Rochester down near Pierce Library.
Are you on a different warrant? I'm still on 31.
I'm sorry, it is
Okay, 32?
32.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you got to go to 32. Oh, so we'll move it. You're done with warrant 31? Okay, so we're gonna vote on that and move along to the next one, okay? All right, I need a motion to accept warrant number 31 and associated claims auditor report.
Motion.
Motion by Tammy,
Second.
second by Jerry. Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby accept and approve warrant number 31, May 15th, 2025 warrant for payment in the amount of $968,437.05. Moving to item number 9C is warrant number 32 and associated claims auditor report. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept warrant 32 and associated claims auditor report?
Motion.
Who's that? Motion by Nicole. Second? Second by Jerry. Comment, George. You're up.
Cancellation Sunny Newport.
That's page 9.
9, correct. It appears to be traffic, maybe? Transportation? FBLA to Rochester, Daniel Pierce Library, Chapel Field, and the Habitat. All gives numbers. And then cancellation for Newport is out of whack in regards to what it would cost to go there.
So if we have an event or something that's canceled after they've already assigned drivers and buses and it's on the way there, there's a cancellation fee because they still have to pay their drivers whatever the minimum
Right,
would be.
right.
So that's what that is.
I bring it up
Right.
because they didn't show up for some of our teams, and we did not get the kids there. So we had to pay for that trip. My problem is accountability, and that does add up over time. But more importantly, what it does to our students, you know. So I know we're looking at the contract a little tougher, so maybe it's something we want to make sure we look into.
And it's a frequent topic also.
I will quickly say on that topic, they have hired several more middle management people to help with better facilitation. They were in at the beginning of, I guess middle of June to introduce me to the new crew. And the week that we closed the elementary a little bit earlier, on that Sunday, I probably had 5 of them on the phone with me. They were great. So it was a good feeling that they were listening. And I seriously, 5 of them. I had 4 different hubs calling and saying, no problem, we'll make it work. So they listened to us. So we'll just hope for the fall. I know they had 30 new drivers in the system, finishing them through their program. But anywhere you go right now, you'll see a bus out there with a big sign, bus drivers wanted, and it's across the state. So we're hoping for improvements.
Well, I just question it because, you know, look at the disparity. Chapel Field and Pine Bush is $387. To go to the library is $451. I mean,
That was 2 buses to the library.
okay, thank you, but it doesn't say that, so I apologize for bringing it up.
Okay, you want to vote on this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Warrant number 32 and associated claims auditor report. That's what we're voting on, all right? We're going to do a hand vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby and accept warrant number 32, May 29th, 2025 warrant for payment in the amount of $1,068,166.05. Moving to item number 9D is warrant number 33 and associated claims order report. It's an action. Can I have a motion to accept warrant 33 and associated claims auditor report. Motion.
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 Motion by Nicole, second by Rose.
I'm not sure of the page because it's not clear on mine.
You said 3.
It
Page
appears to
3.
be page 3. And it's specifically a pair of boots. 2 work boots for an individual. We're buying clothing now for somebody that works here?
So the maintenance workers have boots on their contract, and I'd have to pull it up, I believe, every 2 or every 3 years, they have a boot allocation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
$152. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other discussion for that? Okay, we'll vote on it. Warrant number 33 and associated claims auditor report. Motion, all in favor, raise your hands. That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby accept and approve warrant number 33, June 12th, 2025 warrant for payment in the amount of $565,714.92. Okay, so we are moving, we finished off at item 12 on the consent agenda. We are now at item number 13 is old business. We don't have anything to discuss tonight. We move to new business. We have a couple of items. So start with number 14A is the 2024 to 2025 Health and Welfare Services Contract. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2024-2025 Health and Welfare Services Contract?
Motion.
Motion by Nicole,
Second.
second by George. Any discussion?
I just had a question. How come we're entering 25, 26 and approving a 24, 25 contract?
Yeah, that's it. Is that a typo? It's not.
So I think they coincide with the other one. So Chapel Field is in the Pine Bush School District. So we get charged, so we have students that go to Chapel Field and they have access to daily nursing services. They also do like their annual eyes and ears testing. They can get their physical there. And so at the end of the school year, Chapel Field bills Pine Bush, and then Pine Bush bills us because the kids are students of origin here in the Tri-Valley School District. So we will get the Chapel Field contract for the next year, but we pay in arrears to Pine Bush for the contract once the year's closed out.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any more discussion? Okay, this is coming up on the computer? We got to do a hand on the whole thing. All right, so we'll try it and see if it comes through. Okay, so please proceed to vote.
Aye.
Anybody getting a screen? No? We'll do a hand. Okay, all in favor of this, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the 2024 to 2025 Health and Welfare Services contract between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the Chapel Field Christian School as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 14B is the 2025 to 2026 Board of Education meeting dates. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2025 to 2026 Board of Education meeting dates? Motion? Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Rose. Any discussion?
I have just a comment. So we have the optional second meeting each and every month. Sorry, I'll speak a little louder. We have the optional second meeting each and every month. I really think we did a disservice to the community last year by having one meeting a month. It's my own personal opinion. I know that it's optional board retreat. I think we only had 2 board retreats last year. How are we noticing it when we put the notice out to the community about these meetings? So if it's an optional meeting / board retreat, do we have to give 60 days notice if we're canceling that second meeting and having it a board retreat, or how does that work moving forward? I'm not in favor of having one meeting a month personally.
I think we laid it out like this. I did some research to what other districts do, and it's an as-needed meeting. So if we have things that come up on the agenda that we think we need to bring folks in for, there's fluctuations during August and September. You're sometimes doing some new hiring, and we've got to get the tax warrant out. But then when you move into the other months, that might be an optional time for us to have a retreat, a working night. But we will determine those way in advance. Like we already have one for July 24th as an optional meeting, and we will need that meeting for some new hires so folks can give notice to their districts. So we'll be really cognizant of it this year. Last year was a trial, and sometimes it was tough. We didn't see each other for 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, and we needed to. So I understand that. So we put those in this year to see if that balanced it a little bit better.
My only concern really comes down to budget season, because I felt very much so last year that our budget conversations were rushed and it was information last minute. So I mean, I'm all in favor of like the first half of the year if we do the regular meeting, optional meeting, but absolutely when it's budget season, I am absolutely not in favor of one meeting a month.
We can adjust that right away. Yep.
I as well feel the same. I know there's a lot of things going on and a lot of people involved, but we tried it last year, and I thought we just didn't have enough personally. But I'm here at every meeting anyway, but I'll be there for that one.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote. So it's unanimous. Oh, George is not? You're a nay? Okay. We have 7 yays and 1 no, right? Well, you also no? Okay, so it's 6 and 2. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the proposed 2025 to 2026 Board of Education meeting dates as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 14C is the contract amendment. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the contract amendment? Motion by Jerry, second by Rose. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. We'll do by hand again. That is you. George, are you?
Yeah.
That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve amendment number 3 to contract number 2023-00000337, agreement for professional services between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the County of Ulster, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 14D is the 2024 to 2026 Special Education District Plan. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2024 to 2026 Special Education District Plan?
So moved.
Motion by George, second by Jerry. Any discussion?
Was this plan created last year in 2024?
Yes, it was. It's a 2-year plan that we have to approve every year.
Anyone else? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? This is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the Tri-Valley Central School District's 2024 to 2026 Special Education District Plan as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 14E is the ex officio student member of the board. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the ex officio student member of the board?
Motion.
Motion by Kerry, second by Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion?
Can you share how this student was selected?
So I had put out a survey to the students, and 2 young men responded, and so I interviewed both of them. Chris came highly recommended from his teachers and had a tremendous amount to offer. You can tell from the evening when he did his volunteer presentation. The other student, we made him a member of our cell phone committee so that he still had a chance to hear his voice. But I think Chris will be an absolute asset to our team. He's on a family vacation right now, but is eager to join us.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay,
He wasn't invited to the meeting tonight.
He's on a family vacation.
anyone else? Okay. I see the screen is up to vote on your laptop. So Jerry and George will vote by hand, and then we'll just do it online. That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education does hereby appoint Mr. Christopher Prasalis as the Tri-Valley Central School District's ex officio student member of the Board of Education for the 2025 to 2026 school year. Moving to item number 14F is the board member service on board committees. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the board member service on board committees? And we have 2 committees. It's the A is the audit committee and B is the policy committee. Motion? Motion by Jerry or Pat?
Second.
Second by Nicole. Any discussion? So I would like to add to that the audit committee, I would like to change it up this year. And if, just let me know if this doesn't work for anyone, but the audit committee, I would like Tammy, Pat, Kerry, and Travis. Does that sound okay?
Maybe.
And the policy committee would be George, Nicole, Rose, and Jerry. And of course, I'll be attending as a board president. Does that seem to work for everyone?
What sort of time commitment goes with the policy
It's
committee?
usually just before a meeting, a half hour before a usual, we schedule it.
How often?
So it really
Quarterly?
depends on what we get quarterly from NISBA. So what I normally do is we get the policies in, I either bring them to a board meeting or I'll mail them to you. You review them, and then we come together usually around 2 weeks later, and we just sort of go through if we have any questions. Everything is vetted through attorneys already, so it's really just us putting our eyes on it and saying, yes, this works, or maybe there's a few clauses in it. They're very well written. So we try to do those quarterly. So we had an installment come out, I think October-ish, one in January. I don't even think we had one. So, we'll have to do a summer policy committee on the ones that came out in May, but we kind of pre-do our homework and we come in, so it might be a half an hour, 45 minutes for us to get our work done.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try.
If I may add, there's a lot of commitment there. That's a big thing to do for the district. Those policies are very important. And some of them are changed from because of the administrations. So you got the cell phone, I know that. We have other ones going on. It's going to have a lot of time to put into that. So if anybody doesn't think they're going to be able to do it, probably we should know now. Because we need everybody there. Last year, there was only 3 of us, and one of them was on the committee. The other 2 was board president and the superintendent of school. I was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
We had 5 on the committee, or 6. So that's very important. You put a lot of time in that. It's important for the district. So speak up now if you don't think you're going to be able to be on it.
It is an important
Very important.
position. Because
It moves
all
the
about
district
policy.
forward.
I will tell you that we have gone through all of the required policies in New York State, and we're in great shape. We have everything except one policy that we've got to look into. It was one that I don't know how it slipped by or when it slipped by. It could have been years ago, but we have vetted all through those, and we just have a little cleaning up of words, and it's really more about specific names in the policy versus a title. So instead of having the assistant superintendent for instruction, it had a name in there, and we just have to put the title in there. So we'll get ready to work this summer on those. But yes,
Yeah, I've gone through the policy book, and I see some of them haven't been done since 22, 21. So, I know they're minor ones, but they're still part of Tri-Valley.
Anybody else?
As far as the audit committee, I noticed on the first item, I think it was that George had pulled, where we were waiting, it was to be determined on external auditors. When would that external auditor be appointed?
so I think that was a typo. Our external auditor is Nugent. So they are the folks that have been working with us for the last couple of years. We are not required because of the size of our school to have an internal auditor,
Okay.
but we're actively looking for one. We just think it's a good practice. And now that Rich has had a year under his belt, I think that support of an internal auditor will be beneficial.
There's a firm that we use, they're on 17M in Goshen, Washlitz. It's been a little while. Washlitz and Pavlov, I think it is. It's right on 17M. That's what we used previously, just so you know.
Anybody else?
Keith, can you just repeat those names of who you're putting on which committee?
For both committees? Okay, audit is Tammy, Pat, Kerry, and Travis. And the policy is George, Nicole, Rose, and Jerry. And then I'm in for both of them as well. Okay? So you can probably vote on your screen, and Jerry and George. Who are we missing? Jerry? Just popped up. Unanimous? Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the following Board of Education members hereby agree to serve on the following board committees for the 2025 to 2026 school year. And it's the audit committee is Tammy Shabodi, Pat Kelly, Kerry Poley, and Travis Hartman. Policy committee is George Dean, Nicole Berkey, Rose Woods, and Jerry Stevens. Moving to item number 14G is the election of board members to Executive Committee of the Sullivan County School Boards Association, member and alternate. This is usually myself as the board president, and George was the alternate. So I nominate George as the alternate.
I'd be willing.
You're what? You're
I
gonna,
would be
you're
willing.
good?
Thank you.
And you want to nominate someone? I can nominate myself, that I will take the position. Okay,
You vote on it, right?
is that all right? That is not an action. It's, wait, let's see here. Okay, it is an action. Okay, so it's, so let's see. Okay, so can you put the vote up for that? This is for the election of board members to Executive Committee of Sullivan County School Boards Association, member and alternate. Okay, is an action. And please proceed to vote.
I have a question, Keith. Since you are on the BOCES board, can we get another person in there? Because you go anyway, right? Or is this for Sullivan County School Boards?
You can only have, this is the Sullivan County School Board.
So we can only have two?
Yes, a primary and an alternate.
Okay.
But it's only
I'm-
one vote.
I'm just trying to get more
It's
people there.
only entitled one vote per district.
Thank you.
George, Jerry?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby nominates and elects Keith Stryker as member and George Dean as the alternate to the Executive Committee of the Sullivan County School Boards Association for the 2025 to 2026 school year. Moving to item number 14H is the election of board member as legislative liaison to the 2025 NYSBA Annual Convention. It is an action, so I usually pick that duty up as well in my position. So can I have a motion for the election of board member as legislative liaison for the 2025 NYSBA Annual Convention?
Motion.
Say again? No motion?
Is it a motion or a nomination for a name?
Nomination.
I nominate Keith.
Okay.
I'll second it.
I know no one wants that one.
Now, where is
It's a
that?
long day.
It's a city again?
What's that?
New York again?
It's 8 hours on the computer watching the whole process. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And it can
God
go
bless
to
you.
1 or 2 in the morning, so.
God bless you.
Okay, I accept the role and please proceed to vote.
Aye. Aye.
What's that? Anybody getting a box? That's unanimous? Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby nominates and elects Keith Stryker as the legislative liaison for the 2025 NYSBA Annual Convention. Moving to item number 14I is the election of board members as a voting delegate and alternate for the 2025 Annual Convention. So I have to nominate 2 people again, and that would be me, because would be the voting member and delegate, and then I need an alternate. So if someone wants to nominate me, or they want to nominate someone else, it's fine.
Is anybody planning on attending the conference? Do we know if anybody here is attending the conference?
It's in the city again this year.
I'll be going again.
I
Anybody
nominate
getting Rose?
Rose Woods as an alternate.
You want to be the alternate? Okay. I plan on going to the convention. Okay, so it's Rose, myself, and Rose.
You going to convention, Rose? Down in New York again, right? Yeah. That's a good thing.
Okay, can I have, so we have we have 2 nominees. Can I have a motion to accept the election of the board members as a voting delegate? His delegate is Keith Stryker, and the alternate is Rose Woods for the 2025 NYSBA Annual Convention.
Motion for both of you.
Motion. Second. Please proceed to vote.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby nominates and elects Keith Stryker as voting delegate and Rose Woods as alternate for the 2025 NYSBA Annual Convention. Moving to item number 14J, Standard Workday Resolution for Appointed Officials, District Clerk and Treasurer Form RS 2417 A. It is an action, and I have a motion to accept the standard workday resolution for the appointed officials, district clerk, and treasurer, Form RS 24178.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second
Second.
by Tammy. Any discussion? What's that? Hands only? Okay. All in favor? Raise your hands, please.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District, location code 74812, hereby establishes the following as standard work days for its employees and will report days worked to the New York State and local employers' retirement system based on the timekeeping system or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the clerk of this body. And A is the district clerk is 8 hours, and B, the treasurer is 8 hours. Thank you. Moving to item number 14K is the standard workday resolution for employees, Form RS 2418. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the standard workday resolution for employees, Form RS 2418?
Motion.
Motion by Tammy. Second by Jerry. Any discussion?
If I may, if I want to be clear, there's a number of people, people would be, A through N.
Mhm.
I have an issue with N. I want specifically N. Now, does that mean daily, or does that mean a month, or does that mean 7.5 hours a week or a day?
Up to daily. So she would not work more than 7.5 hours in a day.
How many?
She would not work more than 7.5 hours, but she does not work 7.5 hours.
I thought when we talked, and I may be wrong, and I'm only one board member, but when I thought we hired this individual for that specific duty, which was very important, and it took care of the kids when they got hurt, that was specifically for after school.
So far it is, yes.
Yeah, but if we approve this, this could go sideways.
No, this is the max that they could do. So let's say we had a all-day invitational track meet here. So we hosted one in May. We had 30 schools here. That person was here from 8 a.m. till 7.5 hours later and then left. So that means they can't work more than 7.5 hours.
That's a fair example. So that will be monitored very closely.
Always is, yes.
Okay. Listen, I'm not trying to take away the safety of the kids.
Sure.
We got 3 nurses here and they do a great job, and they're here full time. So it's just one more layer that is costly to the district.
Yes, normally her hours don't even start till about 2:30.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
comes in late in the day and the kids.
And she's done a good job on her
Yeah.
injuries. There's
Yep,
no doubt. I'm not
very much.
complaining about that. I'm just,
Yep,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote. And hands all in favor? Is unanimous. Be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District, location code 74812, hereby establishes the following as standard workdays for its employees and will report days worked to the New York State and local employees' retirement system based on the timekeeping system or record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the clerk of the body. A, senior typist, 7.5 hours. B, typist, 7.5 hours. C is the courier, 7.5 hours. D is the land tech, 7.5 hours. E is the cleaner, 7.5 hours. F is maintenance, 7.5 hours. G is the account clerk, 7.5 hours. Confidential, H is confidential secretary, 7.5 hours. I is monitor, 6 hours. J is monitor, 7 hours. K is teacher's aide, 6.5 hours. L is teacher aide, 6.75 hours. M is teacher aide, 7.0 hours. And N, the athletic trainer, is 7.5 hours. Our next item is board comments, is item 15, board comment session. Rose, anything?
No, not today.
Okay. Pat? Jerry?
Thank you for welcoming me.
Terry?
Just welcome to the board, Jerry.
Welcome to the board, Jerry. Also, real quick, this morning I happened to be on school grounds for something, and I was invited to stop into the elementary school where they were doing a little play, for our summer program. Take the time to watch it. It was live streamed. It is on, it should be on YouTube channel. It was a great program. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They're going to be doing another one next Thursday, the younger kids. And I would recommend watching that as well. It was really a great presentation.
Thank you. Nicole? George?
Thought the graduation was very professional and well done. Applaud that. The only thing I have, do we have problems with the air conditioning in the
So-
theater?
So really, the blessing was we made it all the way to that last week in June before we got hit with the heat. And as much as we had the theater cooled down, even every time we opened up the doors, if you notice, the floors were a little bit slippery in the hallways. It was just the humidity. So the air conditioning was working,
Full
but
bore?
full bore, but the doors were open, and we had over 1,000 people in that space. You know, it did its job. It was just that's a lot of people in a space with the heat that we had.
No, I'm sure we didn't have more than 1,000.
I think we were close to 1,000. I know we
close.
had
That's
given
good.
away about 990
That's good.
tickets.
That's good.
So-
Close to 1,000. Also, I'd like to thank the board for your support for the vice president. Thank you. And I'd like to thank the district for my yearbook. Thank you.
And myself, I do thank everyone for your continued support, and we'll keep up the good work. We still have more to do. Okay, moving to item number 16 is adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Tammy, second. Second by Nicole. Please proceed to vote. I think that we need it by hand or? What's that? Okay. Okay. That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved, the board adjourns at 7:08 PM. Have a great night, everyone.